Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my $15 Bank Shot best bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Wednesday in college hoops. First up, we're going to talk about St. John's and Georgetown. This one's going to be a 9 o'clock Eastern start time on CBS Sports Network. Georgetown, there's no doubting that this team has been a lot more competitive in the second half of conference play, where they took down DePaul, they beat Butler in their most recent game. They've covered a good amount of spreads against some of the tougher teams in the conference than they were at the beginning of conference play, where they were losing a lot of blowout games. But still, even though they covered in the first meeting between St. John's and Georgetown, it was only a 2-point loss, 75-73. I still think that St. John's is the better team in this one, and I think this is a pretty bad matchup for Georgetown. St. John's plays a really fast-paced offensive style. They're fifth in the country in average possession length offensively, and even though they're not the most efficient team on the offensive end, they don't shoot the ball very well. They're still a very good offensive rebounding team that takes care of the basketball. I think they're going to be able to attack a pretty bad Georgetown defense. I think this is the worst defense in the Big East this season. St. John's should be able to score in the 80s in this game, even on the road. And it comes down to, can Georgetown keep up with St. John's? I don't think so. I think St. John's defense is definitely, one of the better ones in the conference, and they force a good amount of turnovers, pretty good on the defensive glass, which is important. We saw Butler in the loss to Georgetown struggle in just really the rebounding department. A lot of that was because Manny Bates missed that game, their best member of their front court. So, Georgetown had 14 offensive rebounds in that game, 31 defensive rebounds, so they just destroyed the glass really in that one. But I don't think that's going to be the case against St. John's, a much better rebounding team with a good front court and a pretty good backcourt as well with Posh Alexander healthy for this one. So I'm going to take St. John's in this game. I think they win this one and cover the number in the end. Next up, we go to the ACC as Virginia takes on Boston College. This one's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern on ACC Network. Virginia has played in a lot of close games lately, a little bit concerning as we near the end of the regular season. They went to overtime against Duke at home, then they barely beat Louisville on the road by 3 points, 61-58. And then last time out against Notre Dame, another team struggling in the ACC, they only beat the Fighting Irish by 2 points, 57-55 on their home court. So, this is a good spot, though, in my opinion, for Virginia to get a nice feel-good blowout win against a team that they already beat by double digits in the first meeting this season. Boston College, there's no doubting that they play a lot better at home than they do on the road. But in that first meeting, Virginia only shot 6 of 21 from 3, 28.6% from the perimeter. This is a very good three-point shooting team. It's 36th in the country. So for them to win that game by 19 points, score 76 points in the end, and still not even have a great day from the perimeter, that's pretty concerning if I'm Boston College. It goes to show that this Boston College offense is just not really a good matchup. Virginia's defense, one of the best in the country, and, they were just dominated in that first meeting. They really couldn't get anything going. They were not very good on the glass either, only 6 offensive rebounds. They had 16 turnovers in that game. So Virginia, sometimes it's just really tough to beat this team. And, although they played a lot of close games lately, I don't expect this one to be a close one. I like Virginia to win this game and cover the number in the end. So I'm going to take the Cavaliers. Next up, we go to the Big South as Campbell takes on Winthrop. This one's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. I do think Winthrop is overvalued in this spot, a team and a program that's been pretty good in recent years, a team that's always, threatening to win the Big South Conference tournament and regular season conference title, but this season just not the same team in my opinion. And although this is a very good shooting team for Winthrop, the defense has not been good at all. I think their offense is also overrated. A team that turns the ball over left and right, and a team that's not very good in the offensive glass. They're not very good in the defensive glass either. So the fundamentals are just not there for Winthrop. Not a good defensive team like I mentioned. And Campbell, I think, can beat them in the fundamentals. Not a very good offensive rebounding team, but great on the defensive glass. Team that gets to the free throw line, a great 2-point shooting team as well. I think Campbell's going to be able to attack a pretty weak Winthrop defense all night long in this game, even though it's on the road for Campbell. And in the first meeting, it was a 78-74 final score. In that game, Winthrop shot 11 of 24 from 3, 46% from the perimeter. Winthrop's a good shooting team, but they're not shooting anywhere near 46% from 3 this season. So I expect those numbers to regress in this second meeting. I think it's going to be a close game, and I'm going to take the points here with the Campbell Fighting Camels. Next up, we go to the Patriot League as Boston U takes on Army. This one's going to be 6 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. I think Army is still overvalued in this spot, as they were at the beginning of conference play, where they started 5-1 in the Patriot League, then they went on a 3-game losing streak. They've been a little bit better as of late, where they're 9-7 now overall in the conference. But Boston U is a team still flying under the radar, in my opinion. They've won 3 of their last 5 games, and I think they're going to get another win in this spot on the road, if not at least cover the number. You look at these teams shot quality wise, I think Boston U is the far better team on really both ends of the court, and fundamentally both teams are great defensive rebounding teams, but Boston U has the advantage in both turnovers on offense and defense, forcing turnovers, limiting turnovers on the offensive end. They're a much better offensive rebounding team, and I think they are the better team in this one. So I'm going to take the points here with Boston U, and I think they're going to win this game outright. Next up, we go to the WAC as Stephen F. Austin takes on Abilene Christian. This one, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. One of my favorite matchups to talk about, because these two teams back in the Southland Conference, really competitive games between these two teams that were up there in the standings and teams that had a chance to win the conference tournament each and every year. And now in WAC, we saw last year, although Stephen F. Austin won the first 2 games, both of them in the regular season, Abilene Christian took them down where it really matters most, in the WAC conference tournament. So this should be a great game. We saw Stephen F. Austin win the first meeting by 7 points, 75-68. And I do think that we're going to see a much different result in this game. I like Abilene Christian to get some revenge and earn the victory. In that first matchup, we saw Stephen F. Austin only had 11 turnovers in that game, which is pretty surprising. The Lumberjacks really have struggled taking care of the basketball this season, 340th in the nation in turnover percentage on offense. We know Abilene Christian and Stephen F. Austin, teams that like to force plenty of turnovers, very aggressive defensive teams. I think it's going to be an issue with Stephen F. Austin on the road, especially where they've struggled in conference play. Going back to January 14th, Stephen F. Austin only has 1 road win in the conference, and that was against the weakest team in the conference in UT Rio Grande Valley. And, that was a game where they still gave up 72 points. So we saw Stephen F. Austin lose to Grand Canyon, New Mexico State, Sam Houston State, and Southern Utah all on the road during that stretch. And I don't like their chances in this game against an Abilene Christian team playing much better basketball now than they were at the beginning of the season. So I like Abilene Christian to grab a win in this one. Give me the Wildcats. I'm going to lay the points. And that's it. Those are the games for Wednesday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.